Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Alexandra and I'm taking you back in time to my husband and I's 2018 cross-country minivan living road trip. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up right where I left you last in the previous video. We spent our last afternoon in Iowa on a nature walk with our friend before saying our goodbyes. After packing up and taking off, it only took us a couple of days to reach the Upper Peninsula of Michigan on September 30th, 2018. And it was definitely starting to feel like fall when we arrived. I had never seen anything close to colors like these living in San Diego, which is basically a desert on the sea. And by the way, that is where I was born and raised, San Diego. Okay, so, cool story. Believe it or not, we actually ran into another couple who had also driven in their minivan all the way from San Diego to this lake. They noticed us from our surf racks on the highway and they pulled in behind us to let us know, hey guys, we are from your neighborhood. We wanted to get out of the car and stretch our legs for a minute, so we decided to stop in this cute little children's nature museum. And I was kind of drawn to this little southwestern section in there since that's where I'm from. I thought it was pretty funny in contrast to where we were in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in that moment. So being totally transparent here, you guys, I was actually kind of mad at Jonr in this moment for something I don't remember at all. So I saw this slide on the side of the road, so I made him pull over so I could slide down it to put myself in a better mood, I guess. Honestly, even though we had a few squabbles along our road trip, we got along really well, especially considering we had just sold pretty much like all of our belongings. We had moved out of a normal functioning house in exchange for living in a tiny little minivan. Now that I'm thinking about it, we actually probably got along better than we did before our big life change. And by big life change, I just mean, again, minimizing all of our material possessions in exchange for a life of exploring in a little tiny minivan. Yeah, I think that we have endless time to talk about everything, our hopes and dreams, our differences, of course, like I mentioned earlier about the slide, and everything we're grateful for. You know, we did lots of gratitude bombs on our road trip. I would ask us to list 3 things we were grateful for, and it would always turn into 10 things. And oh yeah, our wedding. It gave us time to talk about that as well. And at this point, we were less than about a year away from getting married. My husband is from Michigan. He's from the Lower Peninsula of Michigan, which we like to call the Mitten. But over the years, my husband and all of his friends and family told me how beautiful all the changing colors in the UP are during the fall. And holy smokes, you guys, it did not disappoint. I got to experience my first full-blown fall season while we drove across the US that year in 2018. And it was so rad getting to see the landscape change from Southern California all the way to Michigan, especially during autumn, because I grew up in San Diego, like I mentioned earlier, where there are basically only 2 seasons, really hot and dry, or rainy and still kind of warm and dry. Just living in a Bob Ross painting.
Bob Ross, baby, 1 picture at a time.
One painting at a time.
Painting.
Jeez Louise, you guys, there is a lot of water in Michigan. Something neat I learned while we were there is Michigan holds the largest body of fresh water on Earth, plus 20% of all the fresh water on the surface of the planet. Cool. Oh yeah, before I forget, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for me. Pretty please. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Not bad for the old Michigan. Oh, shout out to Big Driftless here. Oh, and rocking the shirt for Wheel Guy.
Just in case you couldn't really hear what Jonr was saying, he was just giving a little shout out to our friend's clothing company. And I went ahead and left a link in the description box below if you want to check it out. Watching all the leaves turn and fall from the trees, I couldn't help but think about the cycles of, like, well, everything. The seasons, the stars in the sky, the human body. You know, everything must come to an end to make way for the new. I have a whole new appreciation for the season I had never experienced before.
You know? But we're stoked.
Oh, so stoked.
Oh yeah.
Check this out. We got some cabbage cooking with some, we got some cabbage. So, a little backstory for that clip. One of the nights that we spent in the UP, there was a huge rain, lightning, thunderstorm. We actually even got tornado warnings on our phone that night. Despite the storm, and when I say we, I mean I was dead set on cooking dinner that night. And if you've been following along on our other videos, then you know that we had to do all of our cooking outside. So Jonr backed up the van as close as he could to a little picnic table in the middle of like a forest in the middle of nowhere. He popped up the hatch in our the back of our van for our rain cover and set up our little Coleman stove on the picnic table so I could cook us dinner. You the best, babe. Thank you. After getting a big old dose of fresh air, decompressing in the forest, and soaking up all the vibrant fall foliage, we were feeling refreshed and ready for the next leg of our trip. Jonr's hometown, Rosebush, Michigan. Lucky for us, it was only a few-hour drive. At this point in time, we had been engaged for a little bit over a year, and we were planning on getting married in a little under a year. While we were visiting in Michigan, we were going to get our engagement photos taken, which was really exciting because it would be the first step we took towards planning our wedding. We had, honestly put very little thought into our wedding since each of our days was kind of eaten up researching where we were going to be spending that night, directions to the next destination we were going, what we were going to do that day or eat, cleaning the van, finding special spots to visit and explore along our road trip. And any other free time was taken up planning our trip to Southeast Asia because that's what was coming next. And so our wedding was kind of just on the back burner. Back to our engagement photos though, we were super nervous about getting those taken. We honestly did little to nothing to get ready for them. Not to sound dramatic, but I mean, I'm a girl and I hadn't even bought an outfit for my engagement photos or any new makeup, which sounds kind of ridiculous, but at the time I was having a mild panic attack about it. Of the car cleaning would have to be this little 99-cent pink broom that my grandpa gave us. Yes.
Gave me that broom.
This guy helps me dust everything off the dashboard, any kind of dirt or whatever off the floor. It just helps it's my duster and my broom. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to mention that we were getting married in Jonr's hometown the following year, 2019. On Jonr's family farm. It was pretty special because the farm has been in his family for 8 generations and almost 150 years. After spending a few weeks with Jonr's family and friends, catching falling leaves, getting our engagement photos taken, it was time to make our way to our last stop in the U.S. before heading to Southeast Asia. Martha's Vineyard, a little island off the coast of Massachusetts where my grandma, aunts, and uncles live. Oh, by the way, we still hadn't even bought our tickets to Asia at this point, and we had less than 2 months to plan our travels overseas. So anyways, thank you guys so much for following along. I hope you enjoyed watching and listening to our adventure back in time in Michigan 2018. Love you guys!